Hello and welcome to my now scripted Fan Formula video. This week's questions feature heavily on the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of what promises to be an exciting year of Formula 1 in 2012. That bit wasn't scripted, that was made up, ad lib. This bit, next bit, is scripted. Look. Oops. Right, Alonso. Question 1. Williams appear to have come back strong with a great battle between Alonso and Maldonado. But what do you make of the midfield teams battling with the likes of Ferrari and Mercedes? I thought it was great. I thought, I love it when sort of the small teams get to mix it with the bigger teams, like Fisichella in Spa 2009. This season could end up being as open as 2009 was. So I remember that year, I used to listen to 5 Live on the radio, 5 Live Formula 1 in the evenings, and even when I went, and then sort of go to not having a clue who was going to win, and I wake up for qualifying and I'd still be just as clueless. But yeah, Australia, really good race in the midfield. They must have changed positions so many times between them, and yeah, it bodes really well for 2012. Question 2. What do you make of the rule that lets backmarkers unlap themselves under the safety car? Does it prolong safety car periods, or is it fairer on those who will be out of place because of lap cars? Well, firstly, you have to look at it from, let's say, Caterham's view. Let's say Caterham have Kovalainen, lap down, 12th. He's allowed to unlap himself behind the safety car, so he's in 12th on the lead lap. A couple of cars break down in front of him. He then takes a point because he's on the lead lap. If he isn't allowed to unlap himself, cars go out on the last lap. He doesn't gain any. They don't gain anything. So it's more beneficial for the teams to allow them to unlap themselves. But it was a bit dangerous on Sunday because they were told they were allowed to unlap themselves on the. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's Lakeside Drive. It's not straight. It's flat out, but it's sort of curved straight. Maybe just allow them to do it on a straight line because that's safer. Because they're weaving. I don't have a problem with it as long as it's done. No one weaves, and it's done sort of on literally a straight. If you watch third question. If you watch Sky, what's your opinion of the team and their coverage? If you watch BBC, how did you find watching highlights? I managed to watch both, and I preferred what the BBC offered. Obviously, the BBC had the full race. I think it'll be. The BBC was as good as ever, and Sky, yeah, first race, you're paying a lot of money for it. What do you expect? It's probably what you expected for the amount you have to pay for it. Their presenter, Simon Lazenby, whatever you pronounce his name, he seems a bit shy around the paddock. Alonso went past him after he'd been beached his car in the gravel. He didn't, he thought, oh, should I? No, didn't bother. Post race, he walked past Hamilton and a couple of McLaren guys in the garage. He sort of went to go and thought, no, backed out. Whereas on the BBC, after Kimi had been knocked out in Q1, Jake came up to him and just stuck his microphone in Kimi's face and got some words out of him, which is quite amazing. And the other thing about that, I don't think Sky showed on the last lap where all the midfield cars changed round. I don't think Sky showed that. They had an hour and a half, but they didn't show that. Whereas the BBC had half an hour, and they covered Button, they covered DeResta, they covered that midfield battle. They covered more in half an hour than Sky did in their hour and a half post race. Ben Edwards, yep, and DC. I have one thing to say to David Coulthard. I know he's not watching, but when Maldonado crashed, he couldn't have opened the DRS. It wasn't DRS zone. That's all. The bonus question. What was your favourite moment of the weekend? I have 3 moments which I quite enjoyed. First one wasn't really on track. It was after FP2. Sky, at the end of their coverage for that, they played a little song over, the sort of, and it's the ending credits montage that you get with the BBC race every race. And the song they used, I actually thought, oh, I quite like this. Went to Spotify, listened to it, starred it. Favourite song 2012 so far. It was by Spectre called Chevy Thunder. So that was number 3 on my top 3. Second was Buttons Win. Number 13 of his career, level with David Coulthard. Third win in Melbourne, second for McLaren. 3 wins out of the last 4 in Melbourne. Emphatic victory, had it under control from the start. My favourite moment was right at the end, where, well, it wasn't necessarily at the end, that's where it all came to head, but for the whole race, that midfield battle was magical. It was so good. They were just swapping around, and at the end, what was it, 4 cars covered by a second going over the line for the final points. Was pretty good. Right, so that's it for Fan Formula this week. There'll be another one next week. Blog is georgef1world.blogspot.com, and there's something special coming up on there, so keep an eye on that. And follow me on Twitter is at GeorgeHDavisF1.